So you bring up the transfer portal, and one guy that really stands out to me because we wanted to see him play in the USC Garnet and Gold would be Eric Gentry. And Eric Gentry is just, he's a physical freak. He looks out of place if you've watched football for as long as we have, because he's no Ray Nitschke or Dick Butkus in the middle, and they've got him in the middle of all that traffic, and he's long and lanky, and it's like he's this enforcer on a basketball defense that has got this ridiculous wingspan.
He's Evan Mobley in pads. I mean, he is basically USC's basketball star playing football, and yeah, that long arm of the law, that long reach, getting those deflections. Like he's been getting deflections on a regular basis, and when he deflects the ball, someone's there to catch it. And so that's kind of a segue. I mean, now Eric Gentry, if Travis Dye is USC's offensive MVP through September, Eric Gentry is the team's defensive MVP. And I got to give a shout out to Rick Anaya, LBC Trojan, on our postgame show Saturday. He went right to that point that Eric Gentry is a G, and he is leading this USC defense. That's absolutely right from Rick. And you got to check out that postgame show with Rick and Tim Prangley and Tony Altimore. Those guys are hitting it out of the park, much like Eric Gentry is. So, in terms of USC's defense, we have to say, so Alex Grinch, this defense is going to have a bad game, right? Like, you're not going to keep picking off 4 passes a game. But through September, who's number 1 in the nation in interceptions? USC. Who is tied for first in the nation in turnover differential? USC. Got to give some credit to Alex Grinch, folks. I mean, I have not been like singing his praises from the highest rooftop, because there's been so much to work on, so much that still does need improvement even now. Like, that at some point, and maybe this is Utah on October 15th, at some point there's going to be an offense that plays well, that puts it all together, that exposes what is still weak and limited on this defense. But you have to admit, even if you're the biggest skeptic of Alex Grinch, you have to admit there's something different about doing what USC's defense did in Corvallis compared to the Stanford and Fresno State games. Because, against Stanford, you're up 41-14 in the third quarter. Of course, you're going to get some sacks. Of course, you're going to get some picks, when the offense has to throw and the field is tilted and lopsided like that. Of course, you're going to get some plays when you're leading Fresno State by 18 in the fourth quarter and you're just coasting home to the finish line. So this was the first real taste of game pressure, not only for the offense, which struggled until it absolutely had to come through at the very end and finally delivered. This was also game pressure for the defense, and the defense could see it. The offense had a horrible night. So wow, we don't just have to play a decent game. We have to play a great game to pull this out and help our teammates on the offensive side of the ball. So when you get 4 interceptions against Stanford, we can say, doesn't really mean that much. But when you get 4 interceptions in this cauldron of pressure against Oregon State, knowing the stakes and knowing how difficult this game was for the offense, we have to upgrade our overall evaluation of the defense and Alex Grinch. Now, maybe this isn't going to be sustained. We can certainly say that. We can certainly admit that. But when you deliver in a crunch time scenario such as this one, the perception and the conversation and the reality, they all have to change. And Alex Grinch deserves that measure of credit.